Hey, our name is,
Cupid's Heart.
and this is number 155 of the Sit Down Podcast.
Are you familiar with the Kai the Hatchet Killer or whatever? I was thinking of isolating that soundbite and using it in our podcast where it could be like,
Smash
the like button,
smash
the subscribe button.
smash.
Holy shit, that's where you were going with that? The Sit Down Podcast is brought to you by Funky Moose Records. Funky Moose Records is an online record store. We sell new and used vinyl records, storage solutions like inner and outer sleeves, and cleaning supplies from, for example, Groove Washer. We also sell turntables from Audio Technica and speakers by Kanto. And if you're in the market for a record, how about this one? The Northern Royals EP. It is on gold splatter vinyl, and it's available at funkymooserecords.ca. Beauty.
Excellent, and welcome. I was just about burp there. Welcome to the show, you guys. So nice to have you with us. Welcome back, Emma.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back. It's been a while, and you've done over 100 episodes since I was last on the show, so that's pretty cool.
No doubt. We have run into each other in passing here and there. We bump in every now and again, so it's good to see everything's in the up and up. And congratulations, you guys, on Cupid's Heart. You guys are crushing it right now.
Man,
I do say so.
I can't open social media without seeing Cupid's Heart.
I know, right? You guys are freaking everywhere. That's awesome. So good.
Yeah. I saw you had a show not that long ago at Rock Trout. No, is that still what it's called?
Yeah, Rock Trout events, I think they go by now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
more of an event space. It was awesome, and it was we put the event on ourselves, so it was a bit of a anxious kind of situation at first because you're not sure how well it's gonna go, and you're organizing everything, and there's a lot of things to consider when you're putting on an event, but it ended up selling out, so. It was
Heck yes.
Nice.
Everyone had a great time, and so that was awesome.
Yeah, I saw some pictures on Facebook from people that were in the audience. It looked good.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And sounded good. I was watching some of I was watching some of you guys' YouTube videos there, and man, I want to come see you guys live so bad. So freaking bad. So
then come.
No doubt, right? No doubt. So you guys,
We'd love to have you at one of our shows.
Hell yeah. So for those of you watching or listening, Cupid's Heart is a two-piece based out of Regina, right, you guys?
We're out of Prince Albert.
Okay, originally I was going to say PA, but I was following up on the North Sask Music Zine one, and they said in there that you guys were out of Regina, so that threw me off a little bit. But yeah, Emma, I know you're from Prince Albert, and Stacy, I presume you're there as well?
I'm in Prince Albert now, yes. Yeah, I grew up in La Ronge, in the north, and I was in Regina, and then I moved up to Prince Albert just recently here, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so we
nice.
did do a few little performances around Regina when we were first getting started, so that's probably where we got that from. Yeah, so
kind of just say we're from Saskatchewan.
we're from Saskatchewan.
There you go. Yes. Rider pride. No, just kidding. Yeah, so you guys are a two-piece where Emma is doing vocals and playing guitar, and Stacy is running the cello. And you guys have a drum machine going in the back, yeah?
Yep.
Right on. So I want to get to know Cupid's Heart as a whole. How long have you guys been together for and performing? I want to say relatively new, but lay it all on me. I want to know from the beginning, please.
Yep.
Do you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. So I guess we started playing music together back in March of, I guess that would be 2022. So we're still under a year old. Um, we kind of just started with some jam sessions, just kind of playing around, and decided to try out going to the open stage at the Pier in Regina there. And we played a couple cover songs. It went over really well, and so we decided to just keep going, and that's kind of how we formed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was visiting Stacy, and I I saw what looked like. Well, is that a cello? In that music bag there? And so I said, Stacy, is that a cello? She said, yeah. I'm like, well, we gotta jam, please, please jam with me. I mean, of course, it's like it's less common, for someone to play something like a cello.
Yeah, and we really weren't sure how it was going to pair because her main instrument is the electric guitar, and some of those early performances, they were just miking the cello, the acoustic cello, and it was really difficult to just balance the sound. So we kind of had to work on how we were going to get the sound to actually compete with the electric guitar. So we got like a preamp and a pickup and everything now, but it was a learning process.
Yeah, it was a good journey. The journey of like bringing the cello into like an electric type of environment where like there's amplifiers and things going on, because it's a very resonant instrument, and even if a monitor is too loud, it might cause it to feed back. It's used to being like in the hive with all the other honeybees, like playing the same note, in the orchestra, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So the when you guys, how long did it take from when you guys started jamming together to when you actually had your first show? Not the open stages, but an actual event.
Well, okay, so the open stages were March, and then we booked our first show in May.
Oh, hell yeah, you
okay.
guys.
And was that first show, was that covers mostly, or did you have music written by then?
No, we had originals, so we probably would have thrown a couple of covers in there, I'm sure. But we were writing original songs for those. Yeah.
Wow.
It was probably no, I think it was like a 60-40, like 60% originals, 40%
Probably
something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, and then we just kept writing more music over the summer. We just kept playing shows, and we went on a little bit of a tour in Ontario.
Well, one of the first things that kind of got us kind of focused on getting a really solid set together was we got booked for Backwards Nass, and they wanted like a full 45,
Yeah, full 45.
for that, and they also wanted original music. So that was a real goal, and they took a chance on us, and so we brought it, right? So
Hell yeah. So Stacy, question for you is prior to, like, what were you doing prior to Cupid's Heart? Like, is this your first endeavor, like in the quote unquote industry, or were you performing prior to this? It is?
No, I wasn't performing. It is. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
meeting Emma, and she kind of brought me into the fold of things. I mean, I've always been interested in music, and I played, guitar first, and then kind of entered the world of string instruments in my early adulthood. But yeah, I was just taking, like formal lessons, and coming into this side of things, Emma's just kind of been showing me the ropes, and it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, no doubt. I love the concept of what you guys are doing. Like, I think it's brilliant, and nobody that I'm aware of is doing anything like you guys are doing right now.
We do know someone that does something somewhat similar. Christian Blondeau.
Oh, I suppose.
Well, it's not quite the same because she doesn't. I don't think she plays guitar, but she sings, and the second person is a stand-up bassist.
That's right.
Not a cello, I believe, but
right.
It's kind of sort of the same.
What's actually here? Silly question, but what is the difference between a stand-up bass and a cello?
Well, obviously the size is quite different. So a cello is a bit smaller, and so the the strings would be different, like the C, G, D, A are my main strings. I'm not sure what a bass is, but they would be lower notes, right? So it kind of
All
gives this
right.
kind of middle range of notes. It's really really nice because you kind of get these lower bass notes where you can kind of get into the bass line of our songs, and then the higher notes can kind of act with the melody. So it's kind of this mid-range instrument that is quite versatile, and it's really close to the human voice. So in some ways, it's like almost a duet with Emma at times. So it's
Oh
just a
my
really
god,
fun
it's
instrument.
so freaking brilliant, you guys. Um, and to be honest, the only cello that I've ever listened to is two cellos and
Mm.
Cupid's Heart. I've never
Oh.
like I've never looked into it or anything unless it was you guys or two cellos. But so
I
yes, thank you for that. I'm really enjoying it, and I mean it when I say I need to see you guys live. I
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, I listened on Tidal. You only have one song on Tidal right now, I believe. And
Yes, we just have the one single.
yeah, so when I hit play on that, I'm like, okay, this is familiar. Yep. Hey, where did this drum come from?
Uh-huh.
So who's running that drum? Is that you recording that, or is that something off the shelf type of thing, or how does that go?
We use a drum machine called Alesis SR16, and it's tried and true. It's a classic drum machine through the ages, and I think it's an early 2000s drum machine,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. You might want to fact check me on that, but um, it's all the samples that are in there come from like a live professional um, live drummer situation. So the sounds that come out of it are really really nice, and they're sampled really really well. And there's also just like a large number of different kits that are used with it too. So like all the different combinations of ways that you can kind of change it to make it kind of sound how you want is like there's a lot of possibilities with it. And
Right.
yeah, so
So
we
for
figure out
these,
how we want to set up the drum rhythms and phrases and how we want to set up the song, and then we put it into the drum machine, and then I'm mostly just stopping and starting on the stage.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean I could do fills and stuff live too, but I mean when the song is the song, then there's not really as much of a point to that, and I would
Yep.
rather focus on my guitar and my singing. I'm already doing
Yeah.
two things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll do this too.
Can you do that?
I don't think I can do that. So it's like, do you go
Yeah.
clockwise or counterclockwise?
Well, whatever. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all night.
Are you?
Yeah. No, that's great. What shit, I had another question there for you guys on your music, and I would going blank right now.
One single?
We've got one single on Tidal right now.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
are you guys like go ahead?
Well, I was gonna say we recorded that at Soul Sound with Orion
Mm-hmm.
in Regina, and it was really great. Yeah, that he's got a sweet studio there, and I think we're gonna do the whole EP with him. So
Oh,
nice.
shit, yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Shit, yeah. Do you guys have it like scheduled in? Do you have like an ETA on when you're going to be in there recording?
yeah, we're in there recording like in the next week or so here.
Oh,
Oh.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's sweet because like pretty much all the things that we do with the band, like when we record songs, it's because of like either like selling merch or like doing shows. So that's another reason why we're like hot on the trail and doing as many shows as we can, is
right.
because like we're kind of trying to build that band fund and then reinvest it back into the band, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's genius. Okay, for being a new band trying to get out there and playing as many shows as you guys possibly can. Are you guys currently doing all your own booking right now and like organizing all the shows, just like doing the grind, right? Trying to get out there? Is that what's
Yeah,
going on? It is.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. And
Yeah,
okay,
and
so for being new or a newer band, Emma, I know you've been in it for quite some time now. So, but for Cupid's Heart being relatively new, is that do you find that difficult, or like what are some barriers or walls that you find yourself having to break through to be able to, like, hey, we're a legit band and yes, we're just starting out, but we're legitimate, so like how can we play this venue, or finding contacts to do the bookings, or like what kind of struggles are you guys going through in that scenario?
yeah, I guess like connecting with other people is always going to be the fastest way to book a show or to break into a new city. So um, other friends that we have that are musicians have been very helpful with suggestions on whom we might talk to, or um, uh, sometimes it is though just like sending an email out, just trying to briefly describe who you are as a band, what you've been doing, and showing that you want to play shows is kind of another way to do it. But yeah, like it is difficult, and it does require a lot of time, and it does require a lot of patience and following up, because people are busy out there too. Like they're running these places, these event centers. Like they might think that your email is interesting, but not have the time to follow up with you. And you just also have to be, I guess, like I learned a really important kind of strategy slash lesson. I was kind of browsing Susan Bussey. Is that how you pronounce her name? Sorry if I didn't do that right, but she's a PR specialist, and she has some tips on her website, and one of them was like don't take it personally if people don't get back to you. Like don't think that they don't like you. Don't think that all these things that we kind of, as sensitive people and as like people that are trying to like put our little heart out there. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you kind of like get down and you think that, and it's like, no, don't take any of that personally, and just every time you want to circle back with someone, just give them a new little thing that you're doing and a new piece of information, and
Right.
that's been really helpful, for just always saying hi again with a smile, kind of thing.
Yep.
Yes, I will say
I
every
agree.
time I've seen you, Emma, or we bumped into each other, you've always had a smile on your face. I think you're
Oh,
a great
sweet.
person. I respect the shit out of you. And for those of you watching or listening, but actually for those of you that follow my social media, you may have seen an image that I posted in the past of like kind of like a self portrait that was done up, and that was Miss Emma Jean here in the
Yeah,
flesh
so often
who
found the
created
time.
that. That was a lot of fun, man. I want to do something like that again. I think we should do that again if you're open to that. I think
Totally,
that was
yeah.
I think that was great. Where did you learn how to draw like that? Did you ever take courses, or is that just natural?
Um, I guess part of it is just being like interested as a kid, like little bit of a nerd. Like I like to make stories with my friends and like design characters and stuff like that, So like that's a little bit nerdy, but um, so I was always interested in like trying to draw a bit better. But my drawings were always kind of a little bit like anime style for quite a while when I was growing up. And then I think, well, going to university and taking drawing classes definitely helped, for sure. But I think what helped maybe get me started with drawing more kind of realism style, expressive style drawings was also this book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. I think it's Betty Edwards, I believe, who does that book. And it just makes you see things in different ways, and then it makes you just realize that like, yeah, like literally anyone can draw. It's just a matter of measuring and comparing, and it's almost like it can be a bit more mathematical than you think. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, so representing something like two-dimensionally, like anyone can do that really. Where things start to shift from representation to art is where you get a bit more expressive with it and purposeful in how you show something. So, um, if I want to do a picture of a person, that's great. But if you do a picture of a person, you add a bit more contrast, and now you're starting to tell a bit of a visual story, right? Or you
Right.
can.
Right. I see there must be so many similarities in in like drawing like your art and performing on stage. When you're creating that 45-minute set or whatever and having to perform it. I'm presuming there's a lot of similarities there on like you're creating an act, you want to present something, you want to do something a certain way and have a specific not agenda. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
I imagine you're getting into some sort of zone.
well, yeah, because it's art, right? And
Yeah.
you're trying to show a specific thing out there.
Yeah.
So it's to get that message out there, right?
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I freaking love the beauty in all art. I think it's great. And I want to stay on the art topic a little bit. So because of that, Emma, are you the one who's like currently doing the artwork for the band and like merchandise stuff, or do you like third party that out?
It's a bit of a combination because even though I'd like to think I'm artistic, even though I, can create images, at the same time, sometimes there's a limit to how much you can actually do in a day. And so working on music and working on trying to get shows and working on trying to contact people, sometimes we found it a bit easier to get help in certain areas, right? So
Yeah.
we're still pretty involved with the merch making, but we have a friend, Curtis Kerr. He collaborates with us a lot on that, and we make more of a night of it,
Yeah.
And some of our, digital imagery that we were putting out, we're getting help from some online designers and stuff for that. So I think we're just kind of picking and choosing, where we might benefit the most from a boost and like having the time,
Yep.
Yep.
John Kendrick worked on our EP art.
That's right.
So,
yeah, my buddy John.
Yeah, turned out really, really well. So.
Oh hell yeah!
Cool. So, Stacy, do you have other talents? Because Emma has these.
Yeah.
I like to think so. I didn't go to art school, but I definitely enjoy painting as well and drawing and that sort of thing. And I enjoy sports. I'm very outdoorsy, and yeah, I guess.
Nice.
The music is definitely has been kind of with me my entire life. So.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Have you guys ever have you three had the discussion or conversation about merchandise?
No.
Yet? Oh well, maybe Cupid's heart doesn't know this, but let me plant a little seed in your ear, and for those of you that are watching and listening as well. So you may or may not know that on Funky Moose Records' website, you can there purchase merchandise from artists that we have collaborated with in some capacity, some way, some form. Essentially, correct me if I'm describing this inaccurately, but basically what it would be is like if Cupid's heart needed merchandise, you can get that through Funky Moose Records, aka Mark, would have like you basically, okay, I need t-shirts and hoodies and hats and whatever. And working with Mark, you could send him your images that you want on the merch. And Mark could do like some mock-up trials. And once you sign off on those, it basically gets uploaded onto the website. And then that way, any of your fans or whatever, if they want a t-shirt, they can be directed to Funky Moose. Like the link would be on your website to buy a shirt, but then it would direct them to Funky Moose and they can order from there. And then you get the commission on the sale. So it's not like you don't have to buy 200, an order of 200 and lug those around with you to sell. Like if you needed 30 of them for a show, you just buy them off of yourself and then resell them or get them at a discounted price kind of thing. So there's no money, there's no startup investment into doing it. It's basically, here's the logo, can you put this on a t-shirt for us, and then boom, you've got your merchandise. Is that a good way of explaining it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's essentially all it is.
Yep.
I think there's currently, how many artists do you have on there? 10 right now?
Yeah, 9 or 10, somewhere
Yeah.
on there. Yep.
There's bands like, we've got I want to say the Hour Hand is on there, maybe. Tyler Gilbert's on there.
Yep.
Weapons is on there. Northern Royals. There's like some of our friends, that agreed to give it a go. So
what sorts of stuff do you have on there? Do you have like toques, coffee mugs? What kind of stuff do you got? Like what do you have beyond like your average t-shirt, sweater kind of thing? Do you have joggers? Do you have like those little athletic, like the thin kind, the athletic shorts?
The thin,
like
from the top of my head.
Maybe we should just talk further and see kind of what your options are.
Sure.
Because if there's some specific items that are a bit more unusual, we'd be interested in those.
Yes, we can get some unusual stuff like socks. We can do those. But also I'm all yeah. coffee mugs that actually change color, so your logo
as the, like, if you pour hot like I've got a couple of Funky Moose Records cups that are black.
Yep.
But when you put your coffee or tea or whatever in it and it gets hot, all of a sudden it changes color, right? And then you can see the logo on it.
They turn white and then the logo shows.
So those are, I like those. Those are
so something like that. But I'm also talking right now to a different supplier that has a lot more stuff. And they even do like cutout keychains and I don't know, whatever you want.
Belt buckles, maybe.
What's that?
Belt buckles. Can you get those?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Their catalog is so big, I probably.
I feel like our logo would be like dangerous as a belt buckle.
You stab yourself when you're sitting down.
You could. Oh, wouldn't that? No doubt, it could be gnarly. Where, like, if you could have it so you can take it apart, take something apart, and have like a lock pick or something out of it. I don't know. Handcuff. Pick some handcuffs. Anyways, never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. I'm getting carried away. But yeah, so food for thought.
Yeah,
I mean, if you guys are looking for merchandise, I think I might know a guy that I can connect you guys with, and you could further that conversation.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. No, and also I'm going to tell you this, but I'm going to snip this out of the episode. But I have been currently doing CDs. So I've done a batch of CDs for the Hour Hand. I did a batch for the Radiant. I did a batch for Caitlin Lehner. And then I did 2 other batches for like some, they're not like, how do I say this very nicely? For example, one of them is like a pastor at a parish, and he had a Christmas album for his parish, and he wanted to know if I could print him some CDs. So I like hooked him up with those. But yeah, if that was something you guys are interested in, it's very inexpensive to do and simple to do. But I could hook you guys up with that if that's something you needed for merchandise. At shows, if you needed,
I know a guy that does CDs.
Yeah, Mark knows a guy that does CDs. I know a guy that does merch.
I will contact Mark later then.
Heck yeah! I'm gonna cut that part out of the show.
Why?
But, why?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know. Because I don't want the episode to sound like we're just trying to sell them a bunch of stuff.
Exchanging goods and services.
This is usually the conversation that goes on after we're done recording.
Yeah,
but
why'd you bring it up?
I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it in just for content, I guess. But yeah, dude, there's like I want to do anything in my power that I can do to try and help you guys. I'm a big fan, Emma. I consider you a friend as well as I'm a fan. We have had conversations on like venue contacts and stuff like that, which I'm still trying to round some up. But I want you to know that I will totally advocate for Cupid's Heart, 100%. Like,
Thank you.
I want you to know that I got your back. Like, I'm on your side with this.
Yep.
Wholeheartedly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Would you guys
It's-
take a trip to Saskatoon on a Tuesday evening?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, we're also the hosts of the open stage at the Capitol in Saskatoon. So we would love to see Cupid's Heart go and work some art out. Try it out, man. That's
Yeah.
what the stage is there for.
That's
Good.
cool. Yeah.
So what
Heck
happened
yeah.
to the cat?
Pretty fun. Oh, she just recently was spayed.
Oh, okay.
For those of you
Yeah.
just listening and not watching, there's a cat in screen here with one of those cones on its head.
Yeah.
What is the cat's name?
Juliet.
Ah,
He named it
brilliant.
after the song though, so
Oh, that
can't
is
read into
awesome.
it too much.
Right. Right. Can you walk us through, you touched on it a little bit, of the writing process when you guys are creating the music? Like, can you go a little bit more in detail about that? Like, how have you done it so far?
So far it's been a bit of a mixture, I would say. A lot of the songs have started from me kind of doing a jam and kind of working out a bit of a structure and a pattern, and then we kind of go into it together and we see what happened, see what we liked, didn't like. We kind of modify it a bit. We add cello to it. We refine the lyrics in some cases, or we take them as they are in some cases. And yeah, so it's kind of I would say I kind of instigate the songs, but then we kind of curate them together, I would say.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Right. And did you guys
How would
find it?
Say that you,
Was
sorry,
it?
Joel. How would you say that you approach the songs?
Well, I guess you really do bring like the structure to our jam session, and then we kind of just, because I'm adding the cello, I kind of just figure out which chords you're using, and then what could actually be paired with that, and I enjoy that you include in some of the lyric process as well, kind of going through and just refining those. But yeah, I'm not sure. I guess how you described it was very well.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like, a lot of the times people are always like focused, like, who's the songwriter, who's making the songs, but we have chosen not to really look at it that way, and we're just splitting everything 50-50 for the whole project as much as possible, because like the Cupid's Heart only exists because we're both focused on it and we both love it and we both want to be a part of it, and it's, I wouldn't be doing this music if I was alone in a little cave with my guitar, it wouldn't
Right.
happen.
Why are you in a cave?
I don't know, I'm just that's my
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, and I like that too, because if you start separating it, like, oh, I wrote 4 more lines than you did here, so it should be 60-40 on this song or something, then you're just raising conflict there where it doesn't really need to be, in my opinion. It's like you said, for this project, it just makes more sense to just be 50-50 down the middle. You guys are a team, you're partners, and you guys created it together, right? So I applaud you for going that route, because I do know a lot of people out there that'll not nickel and dime you, but kind of, though, where they get real picky on who gets what sort of thing, which I can see that side of it as well.
Yeah.
Like, in some cases that it makes sense to do that. That's where contracts come in and lawyers get involved and all that kind of stuff. But I think just keeping it simple so that you can focus more on the music, I think is genius. I think that's a good way to do it. Definitely. And it seems to be working for you guys. I mean, you can tell by looking at the two of you, you guys get along. Like, it doesn't appear to be any conflict going on there at all. Not yet, anyway.
It'll make for some interesting music, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. Metal. I don't know why.
No doubt.
That or emo. I don't know what would happen to us.
Oh man.
We can go
Um,
emo at the drop of a hat.
that could be cool too. But
The last song on the album is just going to be super dark. Oh,
yeah.
they got into a fight.
You can, as long as you blame me. If there's any conflict between you two, whether I'm there or not, just blame me. Blame the podcast. I don't care. Just just tie me to it somehow, some way.
It's always Joel's fault.
It's always my fault, man. Out of all the shows that you guys have been able to perform at since you have begun, which one would you say is your most memorable?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Yeah, because we've done almost 30 shows now. Like, we're getting up there. Like,
I think there were some that were particularly special. Going out to Ontario and playing at McCatchewan First Nation, like that's my home reserve, and
Nice.
It was just really lovely to have, the community support and everyone. My mom was there and she was very proud, and so
Yeah.
it's exciting. And they gave us more support when we returned back to Saskatchewan, and definitely want us to come back. So that one's definitely very memorable. It'll be up there, but there's a number of them. Emma, how about for you?
yeah, well, the one that we just played last, like the sold out show at Rock Trout, has got to be mentioned.
Mhm,
Like, that
definitely.
one was awesome and amazing. And I think too, like, just North Sask Music Zine and the Daily Herald, like, helping us pump our show really helped a lot too.
Yep.
But we had a show that was in like this like haunted mansion style venue that I really liked, like
In Hamilton.
yeah,
Oh.
the Doors. And then yeah, I think that playing The Cure was a special night as well,
Definitely.
because that's kind of like where we started doing the open mics in Regina. So we kind of started our single release little mini tour there at the Cure, and that was a special night too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think every night's a special night.
every night
It's
is a
just
special
like
Yeah.
For
there's
different reasons.
there's just like this ever evolving little story of special nights.
Mhm.
It's good.
Mhm.
What kind of
I think-
venues are you performing at usually, and is that what you want to keep doing, or do you have other types of settings in mind that's what I want to do?
Well, we've only been a band together. Like, we're just like coming up through the seasons again. Just about to do that. So I don't think that we've necessarily explored all the places that there could be for us to play, but we really enjoyed the festival scene. So we hope to play more festivals coming up in the summer. It seemed like the winter time, it definitely seems to be more of a time to kind of go into kind of the venues of the cities. The pubs are always very welcoming, and but like we would love to like play like an unusual place too. Like I'd love to play a bowling alley, like something weird.
Right.
We're
open to ideas. Like, let's collab.
Minto Bowl, if you're watching.
Man, I have I've got a couple ideas in my head already. I don't permission to say them on air.
Yeah, give her.
All right. Well, here I just random question. What would you guys say if I invited Cupid's Heart to come and play like the side stage at Moose Fest August 5th, 2023? Would you guys be down for doing something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Be down. Yeah.
Let's make that happen. We have our bill lined up already, and we're going to be making announcements right away. But I mean, I think that'd be dope as shit if we could throw Cupid's Heart on there. I'm not going to. We will announce it further in the year. I mean, for those of our fans who are watching or listening, get the inside scoop on it right here, right now.
Yeah.
But as for like promoting it, we probably wouldn't do that for a few more months yet. Mm-hmm. If you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, just check our calendar here, and we're free that weekend. So yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. All right. Well, yes. Heck yeah. All right. Well, welcome. We will further that conversation after we're done recording here. But no, this is great. I'm pumped up. Yeah, I was watching you guys' videos, and I'm like, why the fuck haven't I hit up Emma to like come and do this. We were actually talking about it last week, weren't we?
Wasn't it like yesterday?
No, it was like what's the date today? No, it would have been like Wednesday. Maybe it was last Tuesday on the way to.
Because we did mention Cupid's heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are on our radar. We've been talking about you
Yeah.
like here and there, and then the Moose Fest conversation. The last one we had was we were going through the list, and we're like, okay, our bill's full, and we're gonna do this, and structured it. And then just right now, I'm just like, fuck this. Like, let's just get them.
Yeah.
Let's just. I think we both want you there, so
Yep.
it'd be our honor to be able to have a stage for you guys there. So yes, let's make that happen. And then another
Awesome.
weird venue that could happen would be Bellevue Restaurant. They've been talking
yeah.
to us about trying to help bring in some artists and stuff in the back room. They've had a couple people go and play there already. I'm not sure what the pay structure is. Like, I don't know those kinds of details yet, but I'd be more than happy to put Cupid's Heart's name in that pile and
Yeah.
see if if you
For sure, because like you're not very far from Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Like, how many minutes away is it?
on a good
45.
day, if you're going the speed limit, I'd say about 40,
I
45.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, right? Yeah, if you're going the speed limit, I don't know. Yeah, it's about 40, 45. You would just Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally.
That's a nice evening. Yeah.
Shit, yeah. Well, I'll see what I can if I can stir that pot up for you a little bit because I do need to talk to them about some Moose Fest stuff as well. But every time a name comes up there, I'm tossing it to them. So I don't see why you guys can't be in that pile as well. That'd be dope.
Sweet.
Be good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah, man. See how that works, you watchers and listeners out there. That's all it takes, man. It's just
ask.
you just gotta,
Yep.
that's all networking for sure. Oh, that's great. That is so great. I kind of want to just end the episode and talk more about Moose Fest now, but
Yeah.
we're not going to do that just yet. Actually, a question I do have.
Well, one second.
Yeah.
1 second. Can I question you about Moose Fest? Like, how did it go
100%.
last year? Yeah, like how did it go? Like, what were the things that like you really loved about it, and what are the things that like you're gonna like tweak for this year?
So for me, it was that everybody that was there. I mean, festivals in general, everybody's there to have a good time, right? But it felt like everybody there were friends of ours. Like all the bands, all the artists, we know because we had every single one of them was on the podcast. So there was a lot of hugging, high fiving, and and then just seeing the support from the people that heard about us showing up. I mean, that was awesome. And then what would I do differently? Actually, we kind of decided that we're not going to change very much this year because last year went well. So there's not a lot that we need to change.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still like in the early phases of it as well. We've done 2 so far. Technically on paper, we've only done 1.
Yeah.
But we've done 2. Some like I didn't hear any bad things about it. One thing that I've tried to figure out what to do differently would be having something there more for a younger audience.
Yeah.
Like if people have kids and stuff, they couldn't come because there's nothing there for kids. Or last year there wasn't anyway. Like there's no face painting or jumpy castles or any of that stuff.
Mhm.
Of course, I'm like, fuck that. Let's bring in a roller coaster and like, I want a Ferris wheel there and like all that shit, right? So I'm
actually
still trying to
a Ferris
figure-
wheel. A Ferris wheel would be cool.
yeah. Jumpy castles and Ferris wheels could be doable. Depending on budget there, but if I was to do anything different this year, it would probably be something more to a younger audience that isn't going to sit there for 14 hours or 16 hours and listen to rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would do that differently. Otherwise, what I liked about it the most is on par with what Mark said. Like both years that we did the event, you guys are all friends of ours. And I think that really projects and people can read that in the environment, in the atmosphere, because that's what Moose Fest is about, right? Yes, it's a rock show and a live performance of music all day long, but it's the people that are there and involved in it, that are there for a good time. Everybody loves and respects one another, and that's, I think, my highlight of it. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we put this together, and these are the people that I want to be affiliated with. They like, everybody's on the same page there, and we're all in it for the same reasons. That's what I like about it. When it starts getting to be about like money and who's better and who's headlining and all that, I lose so much interest in it.
Yep.
And I've had to have that conversations with people, and it's like, yeah, that's fine, you think that, but that's not what we are. Last year we kept getting raised the question or the question kept getting raised of, well, what genres are you guys are doing? And I like deliberately would never answer that question. I'm like, I can't answer that because it's just good music. Like that's the genre. Good music. That's what it is. It's not, I'm not going to say country, rock, or emo, or what. I'm not going to say any of it. I'm going to be like, these are my friends, and it's good music. That's the genre.
Maybe this year we might have emo.
We might
with these two here.
We might. I think we're still gonna have.
When is it? Okay, start planning now.
But yeah, no, the people that were there, I couldn't have asked for better. Now on the other side, like as a promoter, quote unquote, if I was to call myself that, it could always be better. You know what I mean? You can have 500 people in the crowd. You're going to want 1,000. You have 1,000, you want 10,000. You have 10,000, you want 20,000. Like, it's just never enough, right?
So do you see it like being a festival that you want to like keep growing to like maybe 10,000? Like, what do you think would be
100%?
like,
I bet.
Limit?
I would bet
Woodstock.
Yeah.
Hey?
I was gonna say Craven. I was gonna say within five to 8 years, I feel we have a good possibility of being bigger than Craven.
Wow.
That's kind of like a little mini goal I've got in the back of my head. Is like, I want to blow fucking Craven out of the water. I really do, and I would be just so proud. But it's not a competition. That's not what it's about. But there's always those little things, you know, that you have where like, oh, it would be just so cool to, you know, we did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of seems like to me that there's been a few people in like, say like the past, I don't know, 10-ish years that have started festivals. Like there's a number of festivals that are relatively young, you know? Yeah. And so do you ever like get together with the other festival people and be like, just talk shop a bit and be like, yo, how's your festival doing?
We actually had
I tried this, whatever.
Yeah, we had Mark Butler from Dogpatch on the podcast actually. So we talked we talked to him and Joel Rose from Chesterfest. I mean, we talked to him on a regular basis. He was actually our sound guy last year. So
both years.
Yeah, both years. Yeah,
yeah, both years. Yeah. Joel was our sound guy.
Yep.
But the short answer to that is yes, we do that. We have had conversations with like Dogpatch and the way that's going. Even the Trelapa guys, I've had conversations with one of them, Ryan or Rylan or something his name was.
Yep.
Like what we want to do is like we're not competing against each other, right? So
theoretically, on paper, we were competing with Trelapa last year because
but
it was the same day.
It wasn't
the only reason we would be competing.
Yeah, but we had a conversation with them about it. Like, there's no reason why we can't be cross promoting.
Yep.
Like, why can't we advocate for Dogpatch and Chesterfest and vice versa? Why can't they be advocating for Moosefest? And we've had those conversations, and everybody seems to be in agreement on it.
Yep.
So that's kind of one of the goals this year. Like, we've invited Dogpatch to come back on the show. We'll help promote them. I was there last year. It was an amazing event. Like, I had so much fun. I'm going back this year. Went to Doyle Fest. We've been talking to Eliza Doyle about that. So yeah, I think, I'm hoping to have started that thing, not just as an artist wise, but as like event promoters. Like, why aren't we advocating for each other in this? We're all doing the same thing for the same reasons. Like, we're not in it to compete with one another. We should be promoting one another. But yeah, so short answer to that is yes, we do have those conversations, and it's interesting. We've gotten, little nuggets from Eliza Doyle, from Mark Butler,
Joel.
from Joel at Chesterfest. So yeah, it's been very, very helpful for where we want to pursue the festival idea. I've even had ideas of what's nice about ours, I think, is we've talked about this, maybe in the future taking Moose Fest on the road. So like right now it's just once a year, first weekend in August in our hometown. But you know, if it starts to grow and get bigger, like why can't we do a Moose Fest in Prince Albert, or a Moose Fest that has something in Saskatoon, or shit, let's go to Winnipeg, let's go to Toronto, let's go to BC, and like
Yeah,
just
mobile
have a
festival.
traveling.
pop-up shows.
Yeah.
It's
Shit,
kind of
yeah.
like what Ozfest used to do, right?
Right. So I mean that would be well into the future, but
Yeah.
I mean nothing's off the table, right? It's I
Yep.
mean you can, if you can think of it, you can do it. It's just like you said, is there enough time in a day to organize it all and get it going?
Yeah.
Like, because right now it's just Mark and myself. Like, it's just us two. Well, and our wives.
And our
too.
wives, yeah.
But so it's really just the four of us that are kind of putting it all together because we want to, and we love and respect you guys, and we
Yep.
want to. We think you guys, artists in the industry, are very underpaid, and we don't agree with it. And we're like, well, fucking, what's your price, man? We'll pay you. Let's
Hey,
go.
careful, they didn't mention the price yet.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't talk numbers yet. But you know what I mean, though? Like, that's like we want to advocate for you guys, and this is just one way that we could help contribute and show our support for you guys. Is like, well, let's give you guys a show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
We're excited to play festivals, like we said, and we always have such a good time. And it's always such a great time to meet other artists and make those connections. And like,
That's right.
I
And
think
that's
there's been a few times where we've played shows and just, you're never too sure who's in the crowd. Like someone will come up a few weeks later and be like, "Hey, saw you play this show. Do you want
Yeah.
to get together? Do you want to do this?" So
Yep.
it's always a great mixer for those like kinds of chances and opportunities to happen. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
we see that at the open stage too, that a lot of artists that are in the same room, maybe not always talking to each other, but if they see each other twice in the same room week after week, it's like, maybe I should
Right.
talk to this person.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people like, "Oh, I want to introduce you to somebody," and then it's like, yeah, it goes on. You know how those nights go, where you end up meeting like 5 different people.
Yeah, and then at the end of the night, it's like, who was that guy
Who
again?
was that? What's that guy's name again? I'm so terrible with names. I'm not too bad with faces. I can recognize a face, but
yeah,
when I'm introduced to
feel
somebody, yeah, I'll tell them straight out, like, I'm not going to remember your name, and I'm apologizing right now. Like, I'm gonna have to meet you a few more times and before it really sinks in, because there's so many people going in and out, right?
Yep.
But yeah, no, that's dope. How do you guys feel about us putting a video or two of yours in this episode? Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, sure. Like which ones are you thinking?
Whichever ones you guys want.
I think your single needs to be in there.
Sweet. Yeah.
That's Juliet, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll close the show with that. But before we get to that, though, a question I had was: have you guys had the conversation of like, are we going to be able to see like maybe a music video in the future? Like, do you guys ever talk about doing something like that?
The music video thing is something that it takes a good amount of funding to do nicely. So I think that's the kind of the first goal for us is to get the funding together for that, and whether it's something that we slowly build up on or whether it's something that if we are successful to apply for something for that, then that's great too. So there's no kind of black and white answer for you right now.
Right. Yeah.
Because like I'm like also like the random dice in the mix where like if I suddenly am inspired to like rotoscope something, then who knows, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's definitely something that we'd like. It helps add a professionalism, and it helps add I don't know, some attitude, some visuals to what
Yeah.
we're doing. So we
I'm
definitely
For
like
sure,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of music videos. Like since like I grew up in the MTV Much Music era, right? When that was
Totally.
the big thing. Like before reality TV, like when it was like just nothing but music videos, like that's the generation I'm
Yeah.
coming in from.
Are you that old?
Yeah, I am. I don't look it, but I'll tell you.
Well,
Let me tell you.
back in my day,
Yeah,
Sonny.
back in my day,
Yeah.
we had music videos. Um but yeah, so I love, I could put it on and watch it all day. Like nothing but. Actually, that's my YouTube feed, is like I'm constantly watching your guys' videos all the time. You know what I mean? Like all my friends and the artists. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was fortunate to be in one. So shout out to
Oh, wow.
One?
the Hour Hand for allowing me to
Oh,
have
yeah,
a
I
little
guess.
cameo in their latest music video, which was a lot of fun
Sweet,
to do.
very easy.
Yeah.
Look it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, you betcha. Okay, well, do you have any hard hitting questions for our guests,
I
Mark?
never have hard-hitting questions.
All right. Well, we're going to put in
Maybe
Juliet.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if this is kind of like coming to an end, there's one thing that we'd love to talk about and just mention on your podcast if you're cool with
Please do.
that.
More,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah. So we have recently announced that we're going on a bit of a tour. It's called the Prince tour.
Oh,
It's
yes, I saw
from
that.
Prince Albert to Prince George, BC, and back. So it's the two princes. And we were actually successful in getting a Sask Arts micro grant for that. So just wanted to shout out and say thank you to Sask Arts for helping us like pay for a bit of gas and food on the way there. So it just
Nice.
really, kind of solidifies that for us. And but yeah, even just like the idea to do that tour was kind of based on like just like taking these little successes one step further. So we got accepted to play the Skirts of Fire Festival in Edmonton, and
Okay.
they had like a nice payout at the time, and so we were thinking, okay, well, how do we leverage this? And so we said, well, what if we do a show in the next city as well, and just kind of try and take it a little bit further, a little bit further. And so, yeah, we organized the tour, and then we also, received support for it from Sask Arts. And now we're getting ready for February. It's going to be like our little tour month. And so, yeah, that's kind of like the next little updates in your Facebook social
Hell
media
yeah.
feeds that you're going to get. Is Cupid's Heart on tour.
Yes. Oh, I congratulate
Very
you guys.
cool.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like, I hear the question a lot, like, how do people get these shows, or how did they book this? And honestly, there's like, the short answer is grinding it out, man.
Yeah.
Putting in the work, doing the applications like you mentioned earlier, following up with emails, doing all that stuff. All the shitty stuff that nobody wants to do is what you need to be doing.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
seems to be able to like push it forward, right? So I commend you. I congratulate you on everything I think you guys are doing right now. You're doing it right. You're
Yes.
doing what you need to be doing in this
Thanks,
moment.
guys.
So
Yeah, thank you.
I got your back 100%.
Same here. So where can people find you online if they want to check out your music and stuff?
So we do have a main website, cupidsheartband.com. And on that website, there's links to all other things that you might be interested in, whether it's social media or whether it's links to articles about us or all that kind of stuff. So it's a great hub for just going a bit further. Our music is on pretty much any streaming service that you would want to listen to. And then yeah, we've also got kind of our own little uploads on YouTube, and sometimes you'll see a bit more kind of like raw live performance type footage on there as well. So Juliet is definitely our most professional mastered song that we have out, and it's the only one like that we have out. We've got a second one on the way, so that'll be coming soon. But until then, to kind of get an idea about our sound and what we sound like, YouTube is a good way to start exploring our music.
Excellent.
Or coming
Very
to a
cool.
live show. A live show is the best actually, because
That's I
there's
was
a certain amount
yeah.
of energy that you can't replace in a video.
Agreed.
Agreed. Yep.
100%. All right, you guys heard it here first. We are gonna close with the song Juliet from Cupid's Heart. You guys, the door is wide open for you any day, anytime. Hit us up if you ever want to come back. We'd love to have you back. And
Thanks, guys.
say
We
good
love
day.
Funky Moose.
yes, love it. Love you guys.
Love you guys. See ya.
Some girls love Juliet, some love the salons. Keep on tossing and turning and falling. Opportunities come like the waves of the sea. I pretend I don't care, I pretend I don't see. I've been doing okay, I've been doing alright. Like a Saturday day, like a Saturday night. Some girls love Juliet, some love the salons. I guess I'm kind of a reason for something else. I'm gonna figure it out, what it takes to be free. Oh, my Saturday's here, on my Saturday's away. I'm a bit of disease, I'm a bit of disease. I'm a bit of okay, I'm a bit of alright. Get it, gotta go. Get it, gotta go. Get it, gotta go now. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. You get it, gotta go. You get it, gotta go. You get it, gotta go now. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. Some girls love Juliet, some love the salons. I guess I'm kind of the wandering mountainside. Opportunities come, opportunities go. Like my Saturdays here, like my Saturdays alone. Take my mind away, let my heart believe. Broken melodies in the scenery. I've been doing okay, I've been doing alright. On a Saturday day, on a Saturday night. You get it, gotta go. Get it, gotta go. You get it, gotta go now. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. You get it, gotta go. You get it, gotta go. You get it, gotta go now. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. You don't show up to a party empty-handed. Some girls love Juliet, some love the salons. I guess I'm kind of the wandering violet type. Opportunities come, opportunities go. Like my Saturdays here, like my Saturdays alone. Turn the sunset off, let my mind be free. In the sanctity of the scenery. I'm a bit of disease, I'm a bit of ding now. I'm a bit of okay, I'm a bit of alright. You get it, gotta go.